Thank you so much, Luca, first of all, for being here with us. It's such a great pleasure. We are friends since decades now. And beautiful enough is not just a savvy entrepreneur, tech one, he's also based in Dublin, which make this talk even more interesting for you guys. Luca, your turn, and thank you for having shared with the whole class via chat already your contact.
Yes, well, thanks, Francesca. Thanks for the kind invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. So this is a chat more than a talk. So please feel free to interrupt at any time if you have questions or comments. So we're gonna go through this quickly, maybe 20-30 minutes, and then yeah, we will open up the floor for Q&A. But yeah, if you have comments or questions, just stop me anytime. And the title of today's presentation is about software consolidation and no-code platforms and their impact on CRM technology. As I mentioned, as Francesca mentioned, I will spend a couple of minutes talking about myself, my past, and my present, which is called Spark.ai, a new company here based in Dublin. So after that, I'm gonna probably spend the 15-20 minutes with introducing the concept of software consolidation and no-code platforms, and I'm going to give you some real examples from my new company, and you're going to be able, hopefully, to learn something new. Sounds like a plan? Okay. Yes. And I already shared my contacts details with you guys, so show me some love. Click on that follow button, or either on Twitter or on LinkedIn. It's very important. Our time is very precious, but if we establish and create meaningful relationships, even at this stage, is great, and it could be mutually beneficial. So again, in the chat, you find my LinkedIn profile and my Twitter profile. So if you want to connect, please feel free to do it. Okay, quick presentation about myself. I am an Italian, as Francesca was telling, hence the reason why I'm here, because I have a good relationship with Francesca, and from time to time I jump into her classes pontificating about technology and sales and marketing. As you see, my background is in machine learning, so I'm a tech guy. I got a PhD in computer vision and machine learning back in 2001, so almost 20 years ago. And I navigated the AI and machine learning wave in three different, let's say, environments. First, as an academic, I was writing papers. I was doing research in academia. That was 2001, 2010. Then I joined Xerox. I don't know how old are you guys, but maybe some of you can still remember the photocopier machines. How many? Somebody still remembers it? Probably not. Anyway, they had a very great research center down in the south of France. So I stayed there for a decade. And then in the last decade, I really had the chance to essentially bring to market machine learning and computer vision in SaaS products here in Dublin, first with Beautify, and then secondly with Spark.ai, the new company that we founded very recently, actually this year. So I would like to spend like a couple of minutes explaining a little bit more about what we do. So 1 second, and I'll be able to show you a quick intro. Now, can you see my screen? Yes, you can, I guess.
Yes.
Right. So this is our landing page, and I strongly encourage you to check it out. Spark.ai. What we do is we are looking at a very specific problems in 3 domains. We're talking about 3 different markets. To be more specific, we're looking at manufacturing, agri-tech, and clean tech. So what we're doing there is we are developing bespoke solutions for companies that have very tough problems. We give end-to-end support, and also we provide training. As you see here in this video, our specialty is computer vision, which is AI applied to images and videos. We have a number of different clients. Some of them are in these emerging markets. And here you see a video from a vertical farming company. So companies that are trying to bridge machine learning, computer vision with agriculture. And they're trying to productize, or streamline production of living plants, okay? And then what brought me here today is the fact that, while we have brought to market a new company with a new value proposition, we also spent a lot of time in creating a new set of tools for marketing and for content creation. Now I'm going to use my whiteboard, and I'm going to share with you what we're going to cover in today's presentation. So as I was mentioning, we launched these new companies. So the first thing that we did was, create a new website. Okay, so we're going to quickly look at this piece. So a new website connected, obviously, to a CRM. And this CRM, it is also fully connected with other tools. And here we are going to explore how we connect the CRM to a drip campaign tool. Finally, we're going to also look at a very final piece, which is the intelligence. And by intelligence, I mean a number of tools were developed in the context of content creation, so that we have a unique and bespoke, let's say, sales and marketing architecture. Any questions or comments before we begin? All good?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Great. Okay. How many of you guys know Salesforce? Raise your hand, please. Either digitally or visually. Yeah, fantastic. So pretty much everybody. Fantastic. So Salesforce is an amazing tool, and it provides you, a fantastic suite of different elements. And we're talking about, the classical CRM features, the ones that are, that enable you to store contacts, that enable you to send emails or to draw analytics from the signals that you get from your marketing, from your sales representatives and sales leads. So it's fantastic. But when I think about Salesforce, I think about Tesco. Okay, and I love Tesco. You have Tesco. I've got Tesco here by my office. I can find everything. I can find the newspapers. I can find flowers for my wife. I can find my favorite snacks. Amazing. So it's an all-in kind of solution where you get in and you get everything you want. However, there is a different model, which is this one. So the market model, the ecosystem model, where essentially you have a different set of distributors or providers that give you maybe the software for sending emails, the other software that maybe allows you to store contacts in the CRM, another tool for the analytics, and so on. So whenever you are confronted with creating a new company or creating a new sales and marketing strategy, the first question that you have to face is whether or not you want to go monolithic or distributed. And by monolithic, I mean purchasing an all-in tool a la Salesforce. In the case of distributed, instead of buying everything from one vendor, you buy different tools from different vendors. Now, can you tell me what are the pros and cons of the two strategies, please? And I'm gonna pick on maybe on a couple of you guys if there are no volunteers, and I'm gonna try to distribute my. Yeah, go ahead, Sami.
Yeah, hi, I'm
Roma.
Soumya. So
Soumya, hi.
yeah, so so if you have one vendor, everything is consolidated. It's very streamlined in terms of formats and work processes and software platform. If you have distributed, of course, you might be working on multiple platforms. There could be platform compatibility issues. Also, the pros would be you might have greater flexibility because different tools might have different advantages which may not be available in a single one.
Yeah. So there is more flexibility, yes, more feet, even more capabilities, maybe. What else, guys? Come on. What are the cons of a monolithic approach? Sorry, I think I made a mistake here. There you go. Yeah, go ahead, Earl.
I was just saying the cons for monolithic is that everything a person needs is in the one specific area. The product is offered to them, whereas for distributed, a pro for them is that they can be highly specialized and highly for a specific niche or target. Yeah, good point. Okay, and then you said something about a monolithic. Can you put one big cons on the monolithic? Dollars.
Yeah, could it be expensive? It could be more expensive than getting different small specialty tools.
Exactly.
Sakshi.
Okay, and I apologize. I'm going to destroy all the pronunciation of your first names. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. Very used to it.
It's
right
already
now.
many days, unfortunately, that I'm doing the same.
Excellent. Okay, so I suspect that it also depends on the type of organization you are, right? Because one thing is if you are like in our case a startup less than 10 people. Another thing is if you are a multinational, if you're Tesco, for instance, and you have like thousands of employees, right? So the two different strategies will have a big impact on cost, ease to use, and friction within your workforce. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Now, are you aware, by the way, about this new thing called no code? It's a new trend on software development, but also yes. Paulina says yes. Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about what you know about no code, please?
Okay, so I might be totally wrong because I heard about it just to prepare a presentation. So from what I understand, there's no need of developers' skills to use that platform. So it's easier for the people, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to see examples, but the idea is that, today, I'm not a Salesforce, I'm not a Salesforce representative or client. Therefore, we're going to look at the second option here, right? We're going to look at the distributed option because that's what we went for. So today we're going to look at how we can implement an architecture that covers CRM functionalities and also content marketing functionalities in a fully distributed way. And one of the pieces that we need is the no-code piece. To be more accurate, we need three different things to bring to market and to successfully use a distributed approach towards CRM and sales and the content marketing. We need flexible tools, and I'm going to give you a very, very specific example. We need connectivity, and then we need what I call the smarts. Okay, and the smarts, by smarts I mean AI. I mean, there is this great example, and the great example is Amazon. Amazon is an incredible company. It is also an incredible company because they use technology and AI in particular 360 degrees in their organization. What this means is that not only they develop AI for your Alexa, but they also, and more importantly, deploy AI features in e-commerce. That's easy. But it's not only, they don't stop there. They inject AI in sales, marketing, accountancy, finance, so that they really make a difference. I mean, the AI that they are using, the smarts that they are using really makes an impact and a difference for the company as a whole. So the question that I, as a founder, I always ask to my guys is, okay, we are developing AI. So we are doing a lot of work to make others people business processes smarter. We need to have, that smarts in-house. Okay, we need to develop our own AI, and that's what we did. So let's start from the beginning. So the first tool that I would like to show you is Notion. Okay, and the second one is a list of no-code platforms that you are using. And finally, for the smarts, I have a very interesting example called copy.ai. For no-code platforms, I'm going to present you Zapier and probably also Automate.io if I have got time. Anybody knows either Notion, Zapier, or copy.ai? Hands up, please. Nobody knows them. Very good. So you will learn something new today. All right. Now let's start with Notion. Do you recognize any of these logos?
Mostly used for team management or project management work within the teams. I think Notion is also like Trello, but much more simpler and advanced version.
Yeah, Notion is a software tool that has been created, let's say, from first principle, meaning that they try to ask themselves the following question. Okay, Excel tables are great, but maybe there is a better way, a smarter way to create tables. Okay, and from there they really rethought and reshaped a table that becomes now a database, a timeline, a Kanban, a gallery, and an app. Okay, this is the concept behind Notion. I'm going to give you an example just to make it a little bit more concrete. And I have the example here. Can you all see my screen, right? I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Okay, this is Notion. I'm going to just show you one table, and I'm going to show you this table because it has all the ingredients to really surprise you. In this table, we are essentially listing, we're listing all our sales and marketing projects, okay? Brand refresh, content creation, proposals, and so on. So each row is a project, and each project has a progress, obviously. It has a priority, a type, and an owner, okay? Now, the interesting thing is that I can also specify, sorry about all this back and forwards. I'll try to be a little bit more accurate. Okay, I can also specify all these dates, beginning and end. Okay. Now you might say, okay, this is just a table. Fair enough, and that's true. This is just a table. However, by clicking on this menu above, I can essentially use the content of this table to animate a Gantt chart. Okay, so by using the start and end time, I can then create and expand my project list into a timeline where I see the evolution of the project over time. Okay, so just to give you an example of the flexibility of the tool. Another way to look at this data is to look at this data from a status perspective. Don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the Kanban concept. This is, again, an example of how Notion allows you to pivot your data and allow you to have a very high degree of flexibility on your data set. Again, this is just an example, done with projects, but what if we were able to do the same thing with sales? Okay, so what if we were able to have a list of targets, as in our case? Okay, so we have all the list of targets that are listed here. So for instance, here we have a target of manufacturers in Northern Italy. And in Notion, having the ability to really flesh out this target, link it to a persona. In this case, we have operation managers and quality controllers. So from the ground up, we can design the structure of our CRM and implement it in Notion with absolutely zero code skills required. Now, I throw at you a lot of information. I'm going to stop here 1 second, and I'm going to ask you if you have questions or comments about this super quick Notion demo. Any questions, any comments, any observations, any comments on ease to use or potential application? Pauline, she raised the you just raised the hand. Please
yes.
go ahead.
So I'm just thinking in terms of the pricing maybe for the team, is that reasonable price, and how do you do to collaborate? For example, does everyone has their own password to access it?
Yeah, everyone has their own password. The prices start at $4 per user, so it's a very, very flexible business model. And don't forget this. This is just a tool that is a general purpose tool. Let me give you an example. So let's say that I want to have my CRM, I can implement the CRM. Let's say that I want a content creation pipeline a la HubSpot, okay? I can implement that from scratch. And it is all made in this way. You create your CRM. There are templates for everything. So we can start here and look at this. So let's say that we want marketing or sales. And in 3 clicks, literally, you have a CRM already done.
Wow.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
You have your pipelines, you have your table views, you have already all the variables configured for you, okay? And you can manage and tweak everything. Do you know what is the best part? The best part is that each cell, and I'm thinking about, these elements, these bricks are accessible through an API. So you can connect deeply your CRM and your content management with every other possible tool that you can think of. Any other question? This looks similar to Asana, I guess, but with more feature. Prasanta, thank you for your observations. Yes, absolutely. It is similar to Asana, but it's it's a little bit more flexible. Absolutely. Any more questions or comments? Okay, let's move forward. Now that we have introduced Notion, well, we have to connect it with other tools. And what we do here is to use Activecampaign, which is an email drip management tool, and Slack to plug in 2 different features. Very interesting. One, in the case of Slack, the ability to communicate among the team and receive alerts. And 2, with Activecampaign, the ability to send emails and measure pretty much everything that you can imagine. Who knows Activecampaign or Slack, or who has already used any of these tools? Nobody? Yeah, Pauline, Slack is really good. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've used Slack.
Yeah, I have also used Slack.
Excellent, excellent. So who knows Snuff.io? Another very interesting tool for marketers. So this is for drip campaigns emails. Again, very powerful tool to reach for outreach marketing. Do you know what I'm talking about when I'm mentioning outreach marketing? So outreach marketing, Prasanta, yes?
Yeah, it's more like, I don't know, is it like backlinking or stuff?
Let me
getting
give you an
link backs
example.
or branding.
Yeah, let me give you an example. It's better. So the example is actually drawn from our own architecture, because as I was promising you before, I want to give you some real examples, and this is, the most important piece of technology that you need when you go for a fully distributed architecture. So we don't have a suite like Salesforce, so we need to connect multiple things, and everything starts with CRM, which is Notion. But then there are, as I mentioned, other tools like Snov.io, Find That Lead, and Activecampaign, right? Moreover, there is also the website. So what do we do here? Like a plumber, I connect everything together. So I connect the CRM with the drips, I connect the website to the drips, so that if a lead comes and visits my new website, it automatically receives an email campaign. Make sense? Nothing new, nothing fancy up to here, right? Have you ever seen these? I imagine that you have seen many of these different architectures, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is more interesting now is this: how do we connect? All these parts together? And there's the answer is through no-code software automation. For instance, let's say that we want to connect our website to Activecampaign, so that whenever a website is filling a form into Activecampaign, there is an email or an email campaign that reaches the lead. How do we do it? Do you have any ideas? No ideas on how to do it? Okay, I'm going to tell you. So there is this brilliant tool that I strongly encourage you to check out. It's called Zapier. This is an operating system. Actually, it's much more than no code or software automation. This is essentially a very powerful tool that connects multiple applications. Let's say that I want to connect Activecampaign to my CRM or LinkedIn to my CRM. So what I can do without the need of any software skills is to design these software rules, okay? And these software rules are defined, in this case, by a LinkedIn form. Do you know what I'm talking about here? Have you ever implemented a LinkedIn form? Any experience? Okay, let's step back 1 second. A LinkedIn form is just a form in a LinkedIn, embedded into a LinkedIn campaign. Okay, and when somebody fills in this form, okay, on my LinkedIn profile, specifically when a lead is downloading a piece of content that I created, I want this rule to be triggered. Okay, so I want this rule to be activated. And at the end of the day, I want to create into my CRM a line or a row where I can save all the details of my lead. Does it make any sense, guys? Are you completely lost, or do you understand what I'm talking about here? I just want to save information on my CRM. Any reactions, any feedback, any? Okay, let me see. Sakshe understood. Excellent. Any questions so far?
There is also some other nudging in some other positive message in chat.
Okay, Pauline, I understand. I didn't know that before. So what you want to retain here is that you have the ability, the first message is there is an alternative to a monolithic CRM architecture. There are advantages and also several disadvantages. How do you overcome the disadvantages? The first thing that you can do is to rely on software automation tool, and in particular, to tools such as Zapier, Automate.io, and Trade.io. Again, the final message is you don't need to be a software guru to use this tool. You just need to, you know, check them out, and you can teach yourself how to use them. So I'm going to skip this, and I'm going to go directly to the smarts. We said that with a distributed approach, we have flexibility. Okay, so we have the opportunity to mix and match and to pick the best of the best and put it all together, right? So why not to plug in some smarts, some AI into the process? Okay, since we have access, capillary access, very, very granular access to the information, we can also plug in other APIs or other technology through Zapier that leverage the power of AI. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 examples now, if I have time. Otherwise, it's going to be only one example. Have you heard about generative machine learning? Nobody? Okay, let me tell you what this is all about. Machine learning, yes. Generative machine learning is a branch of machine learning where the focus is on creating content automatically. How good is that? Okay, so for instance, let's say that there is an email and I want to have different copies of that email. There is a tool called copy.ai that does exactly that, and we're going to have a demo on this. Then why stopping to text? Why not creating artificial images? Okay, now you can do that, and there is an OpenAI tool called DALL-E that helps you creating images from scratch. And by the way, OpenAI is one of the companies, I think now is a private company, funded by Elon Musk, and yeah, they're doing brilliant things. Last but not least, video. You can create videos from scratch. So we're going to see probably an example. Otherwise, I'm going to share the links later after this presentation, because you really need to see this. So for marketing, but also for sales, there is a big impact of these technologies, because essentially we can create content at scale and not only engage, but also sell to people in an automatic and programmatic way. Any reactions, any comments, any questions about this?
I have a question for the copywriting in the terms of content creation.
Yes.
Since I understand technically you can sort of research what are the keywords and put it in the content in terms of SEO and Google rankings. But is it supposed to be still constantly supervised by a content creator or a copywriter, or is it completely automated? And if it is the essence of copywriting and the emotional connect, which is also extremely important to reach out to customers, lost, or that can also just get automated?
Yeah, Sakshi,
don't worry about it.
Sakshi, great questions. You're spot on. You surfaced 3 main points. Number 1, supervision, absolutely important and still needed. So you can't communicate with your clients through a machine learning algorithm. There is still supervision required. However, that supervision is really minimal, as you will see. Second thing, this supervision is absolutely needed, especially for that emotional connection, that final refinements that will essentially create and fuel that emotional connection of your brand to the consumers and to the final destination of your content. And then finally, there is also the piece related to copyright that needs to be supervised and needs to be moderated. Thank you for the questions. These are very important points.
Thank you.
So let me give you an example of copy.ai and how you can use it.
In Earl, there is another
yes.
question.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just have a question quickly about Synthesia. like I know the program uses machine learning, understands certain copy, and then it goes through a database, that links keywords to use keywords within the text as well as the video. So it links, for example, if in the text is creating a video about, let's say, Donald Trump, it would look up videos or available clips of Donald Trump to create a video. But like how far are we in terms of machine learning that it can identify, like what is, like, for example, tone of voice or sarcasm or certain things that, like, for example, if something in text said turkey, would it look up the animal turkey or would it look up the country? In that sense, how far are we there?
Yeah, that's a very good question indeed, Erle. Thanks a lot. So Synthesia is a tool that essentially enables you to create talking heads, okay? And it does it given a script that you still have to write. Tone of voice, intonation, expression, these are all configurable parameters. So you can specify these parameters before even starting the generation process and then tweak them. I strongly encourage you to test it out because it's amazing. So the ability to create this content, this visual content at scale, is incredibly powerful and incredibly appealing for many industries and many verticals, not only for sales, but also for customer support. We are consuming content and more, and in most part of the cases, this content is visual. So getting back to your question, I think that the best thing that you could do is just to check it out and try it yourself. There is a free version. Today, what I would like to do with you, if you don't have any other questions, is to test out copy.ai. But before we do that, yeah, any other comments, any other observations about this generative deep learning that helps us introducing, the smarts into our CRM architecture?
I think it's quite fascinating and very, very agile. One can work with really small teams. But I think I have similar questions like Sakshi and Earl in my head. In terms of how much of human intervention do you need for quality supervision?
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's take an example. So let's say that, we have a pitch for my new company called Spark.ai. The title is Solution Fueled by the Power of Machine Learning. And this is the product description. For forward-thinking businesses, Spark.ai is a data-driven machine learning phenomenon that brings you a tailor-made solution, end-to-end support, and the education you need to keep operation smooth and impact transformative. Now, I didn't write this. My amazing copywriter in the United States of America wrote this. She's a skilled copywriter with years of experience. So this is, the real stuff, okay? And that's the first message that I would like to share with you. You always start from a solid base. You don't expect your machine learning to spit out this kind of result. It would be too good, okay? And there will be a lot of people out of a job right now, which is not the case. So the second message is that this is just a starting point, okay? So we are gonna feed the algorithm, the generative machine learning algorithm with this pitch, because in our CRM, we want different emails sent to different people, and we want the ability to say things in 16 different ways. Same thing, but multiple ways, all right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open the copy.ai web page that I hope you can see here at the top, okay? And in the tools, you see here on the left a lot of different appealing features. So I can create Google headlines, I can create Instagram captions, I can create LinkedIn ads, I can brainstorm around value propositions, I can create landing page text and so on. So what I'm gonna do now with you is I'm gonna copy and paste this title and this product description, and then I'm gonna click the button create. So let's see what happens after I've done that. Okay, so at the moment, the generative algorithms that actually uses the OpenAI APIs and technology is looking at the database of content that they have, and it's spitting out at least 4 or 5 variations of my initial beautifully crafted product description. Shall we have a look at them? Okay, let's write them together. I've never read them before, right? So let's see if it makes sense. Pain. Lack of data and proper maintenance can lead to businesses. Yeah, I don't like this. Let's get to the second one.
It's better than my English, thus I love it.
Pain, back-end headaches with tried and tested operational processes. I can assure that this is a big headache. Agitate, which means how can you relate to that pain? Sticky know-how on how to leverage the power of machine learning without the heavy lifting to realize the significant saving and efficiencies it could deliver. Solution, beautify, the product and the name, is a hybrid between beauty and eye, representing the duality needed to enable machine learning in businesses while making it accessible to all employees. For all kinds of projects and applicable to all business processes. What do you think?
Any reaction, class?
Not great.
It's not great. I agree with that. But let's have a look at this. Agitate. Failure to make sense of data is stalling business growth. I like it. More than 60% of companies have huge data sets, but less than 10 are harnessing this data to fuel their digital transformation. I like this. So what do? I click love and I make more of this. Okay, and this is an example of that curation process that is required and that Saxi was mentioning, still needed. Now, why this is very powerful? Because maybe 3 out of 5 are shit, but 2 of them are really good. And we can keep iterating, right? We can keep reading. Hiring expert has never been so complicated nor so expensive. I agree with that. You have heard a lot about machine learning, but you're concerned with how to get the most out of it. Yes, Beautify or Spark.ai is an AI platform that allows you to use high-level intelligence derived from your data to automate your decision-making processes. I love this. And I want to make more of this, right? So iteratively, the content creation now is not about writing, but about selecting. So the content creator becomes a filter, right? It's not, a guy, which was Pablo Picasso, I think, said, the best artists are actually thieves. They steal from the best people and they aggregate together. And by aggregating together, they make something new. Any other reactions about this? Because this is already changing the landscape. This is already changing content creation forever, guys.
Yeah, I guess the benefit which happens is just quicker, because even if a content creator has to reiterate and come with a copy, it takes a while. Yeah. A good content creator, if he can just process his or her thoughts through using such softwares, can then come out with a seamlessly excellent copy. I agree, it will not take away their job, because you still need supervision even to sort of know what you want in the right way. But yeah, this will definitely just expedite the process.
Exactly. And I would like to conclude by immersing you in our content pipeline, because what we are doing here is through Notion, through our CRM, and through this technology, copy.ai, we're able to define our content strategy, okay, which is specified here. Then we have a content pipeline of hundreds of different articles that are already created or to be created. And the beauty of this is that from this, let's say, seeds, and the seed is, let me give you an example, the 3 stages of AI. This is a blog post, right? So we have templates for everything. We write in a very specific way, in a very structured way. So we develop this content, which is a blog. And then through copy.ai, we are able to chunk this blog post and create social posts, right? And it's going to be a very quick and very agile process. Again, we're not using copy.ai to generate automatically. We're using it to extract the best pieces, the best parts, and to develop the social posts. Finally, and this is, I think you will appreciate this. We're not decoupling the content creation piece. We are actually aggregating it through Notion, because once we have done the social post, we are also able to create videos and video scripts. And the last step is to create email campaigns. So you see, it's all embedded in the same process. Okay, at the same time, we're creating the blog post, the text, then we chop them into the social posts, we summarize them into videos, and finally, we distribute this content in an omni-channel strategy through emails. Does it make any sense? Any reactions, any comments, any final thoughts about this?
Yeah, I'm just curious. It all sounds very fascinating. Does it allow you to, so like the previous content piece that you were reading, and it mentioned some data like 60% versus 10%. So how does it pick up that data points?
The answer is, I don't know. It's a machine learning algorithm trained on billions of different documents, and probably it picked up that ratio in a lot of documents.
And does it allow you to customize your sources? Like, can you add your own sources that you wanted to learn it from?
I'm not sure, probably not, but that's a very good point, and they should do that. Okay, let me conclude. I think I went out of time. Yeah, we want you. So we are offering 2 internships. We are very selective with our process. In the last round, we received 2,000 applications, but we keep an eye for good students. And if you want, you can submit your CV today. Our promise is that you get a crash course on content creation and sales. You're going to be directly plugged into our brand new CRM and content creation tools. And there is a lot to learn. The best part is that we are offering a permanent position at the end of the 6 months training and internship. In particular, we are offering 4 different things. Obviously, a salary, a new contract at the end of the successful internship, and a job placement package. So if you decide to move on, and if you at the end of the 6 months want to move forward in your career, we have access to a network of entrepreneurs and corporate executives that either are clients or personal connections, so that we are always recommend good interns that have done good work with us. And you can find a job in very, very high profile companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon. So I would like to thank you for this opportunity, and thank you, Francesca, for the space that she gave to us in your busy schedule. And let's open it up for questions or comments or other observations.
Allow me just one comment prior to let the class raise their hands and make you questions. In the short list of the 4 main arguments for sending a CV to Spark AE, well, training and learning is undoubtable, in the sense that you just met Luca, and you can imagine the learning working with such a person. I can see that there is already some very positive further thank you, Luca, in the chat. If you have some final curiosity for Luca, 5 minutes are still scheduled. Thus, please raise your hand and go directly with your question to him. Any question, curiosity, something you want to comment with Luca?
So I just wanted to understand your business model. So do you take up turnkey projects, or do you just provide the tools for companies to streamline their CRM and communication? How does it work? How do you work with other businesses?
So our business actually is not in the CRM and in the sales and marketing space. That's that's what you saw today is what we use internally. But what we do is a lot of work with the companies, like for instance banks, like for instance even startups that need a computer vision and machine learning to do their job. So let me give an example. Let's say that you are a retailer, an e-retailer. You want to do forecasting analysis. You want to, have AI and machine learning to predict sales or to segment your customer base. That's what we can do. Okay. Or let's say that you want to predict churn. You want to understand a little bit better your customers. And at that point, we can plug in our bespoke algorithms. So to answer your question directly, we have two offers, either turnkey projects. So from the beginning of the requirements to the end of the deployment, we walk you through all the different phases of an R&D project. Or we also have a SaaS product. It's a SaaS product for video analysis that I'm not going to have the time to share with you. And in that case, it's a SaaS sale.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks to you guys. Any other questions? Any other problem? Yeah, Earl? Yeah,
Luca, yes, question. So it's really cool. I've been looking at your website since last week when we heard about you guys coming in. And computer vision is like something I'm really interested in, and it's really cool. But I was wondering, I know you said you look at the agricultural manufacturing space, and how your AI develops that. I was just wondering, is the Irish market, like, are people adapting to that? Are people really looking into as a way to grow their business into, manufacturing, like increase leads or yields of crops? Do they look into AI, or are they very kind of backwards thinking and go old school?
Well, it's a nascent market. And by the way, thanks for the question. Very. It's on the back of my mind all the time, actually, because we are very forward thinking in the way you go to market, and as you can see, these industries. Innovating in agriculture is a big deal. It's a big deal. You start with the early adopters. Probably the early adopters are not in Ireland when it comes to precision agriculture, because they're more in monoculture, large scale environments and geographies, like for instance Spain, like for instance Argentina, South America, Brazil. So those are the markets where essentially we're focusing our efforts when it comes to precision agriculture. However, in Ireland, there is an awful lot of excitement and an awful lot of interest when it comes to farming and especially breeding cows, cattle, etc. So there is a lot of companies. One of them is Cahintus, that is developing computer vision specifically for that market. It's not precision agriculture, but it's still applied to that space.
I just have a second question is, so are you guys also then using the newly released, I suppose, like drone technology, as a way to visually monitor large, areas of land when it comes to vision inspection and everything else?
Well, yeah, we're using all the tools that you can imagine in terms of technology stack. In terms of data, satellite imaging is one example of the data that you can use, but you can also think about drones. Now they're very popular, and they give you a trade-off view between the satellite and the ground.
Thanks very much.
Any other questions, any other comments? Shall we wrap up here? It's 3 p.m. You must be tired by now. Okay, so let's wrap it up here. So thank you so much. Please, two favors. Number one, if you feel like even a part-time internship is what you want, send me an email. Number two, if you want to connect with me, please do it. It's all the details are actually written on the page. Luca Marchesotti and Lu Marques on LinkedIn. All right. And for all the rest, you're just one click away. Thank you, guys.
Luca,
Thank you.
grazie mille. as always, davvero.
No problem. Cheers. Bye-bye, guys.
Have a wonderful
Luca.
day, and
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dear class, thank you as always for your very smart questions. I hope that you enjoyed the testimonials also, because you're gonna see that the three I've selected for you are very much from a completely different perspective. Thus, you will be able to appreciate and explore with super expert different type of contents. The idea is now to have a small break, kind of just 10 minutes, and then reconnect in Brightspace to conclude the topic of today, which is value creation from the firm perspective. This morning, we very much analyzed the KPIs, thus how to pass from a market share and sales logic to a truly CRM way of analyzing business, size and share of wallet, customer lifetime value. Now we are concluding the day by really speaking about optimizing the relationship. Thus, a bit of debrief on loyalty program and a quick comment on retention. That's the plan. Let's see each other's let's say 3:15. Let's be a bit more flexible, because if not, and of course, in the meantime, if you want to write Luca, just maybe put CRM, Francesca, CRM, UCD, something that it remind him directly this talk, so that you'll have a privileged channel to him. See you in Brightspace.
See you.
See you. Thank you.
You're welcome.